All verse rise of my soul family, peace to the God stars and goddesses. Now, soul family, have you all realized that a lot of these presidents and prime ministers and president and prime minister candidates, they always live in mansions. Every president and prime minister of United Kingdom and England that you have ever known and seen in history, all of these presidents and prime ministers, they live in mansions. When it comes to a lot of these social media famous people, what happens? They live in mansions. You never see a lot of well-known people live in apartment complexes or live in 3-bedroom condos or live in 3-bedroom houses. The reason for that is the Matrix, the slave owner reptilians. They gotta protect their famous people at all costs to make sure they're not spotted out in these like lower economy housing areas. Because let me tell you this, if a social media famous person like Deshae Frost or any social media famous person you could name of, if they were living in apartments and in condos and everything like that, I can guarantee you their reptilian appearance will be spotted out by a spiritual person in these apartments and condo complexes. The same way with this Kamala Harris character. Kamala Harris is not a real human. We know that she's a reptilian. Just like every president in every country, the prime ministers in United Kingdom and England. Because if famous people were to live in any housings that you see a lot of the real humans live in, guess what? These well-known people, they will be spotted out for the reptilians that they are, as shapeshifters, not even real humans. Because a lot of demonic beings, they live in these lavish houses, especially these professional athletes. You never heard of a college player. You never heard of a college player that has NIL deals in this new era, in the 2020 era. People like Travis Hunter and etc. college athletes that have NIL deals, they live in mansions. Go look at their Instagram. Go look at their Instagram, Twitter, etc. social medias. People like the Travis Hunters of the world, they're not real humans. They're soulless vibrational bots. They're NPCs. So you always have to realize, how come people like Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, people like Scottie Pippen, Magic Johnson, Michael Johnson, even Michael Johnson never lived in apartments. He lived in a mansion. P. Diddy lived in a mansion. Sierra, NBA YoungBoy, like who else, man? Ice Spice, Dave East, Dave from United Kingdom. Brent Fayez, they all live in mansions. Usher lives in a mansion. Why? Because they're reptilians. They're not real humans. A lot of well-known famous people who have all the unlimited money in the world, and especially these people that you see on the movie apps like Tubi, which is spelled Tubi. A lot of these movie actors on Tubi, they're famous people, and guess what? They live in very fancy housings like mansions. Why? Because a lot of famous people, whether they're social media famous or higher class, they gotta protect their image from not being spotted out as reptilian demons by spiritual people that's living in smaller economy areas like apartments and condos. Because you will more likely to find a spiritual person living in an apartment or a 3-bedroom condo or somewhere, or a 1-bedroom apartment. That's where most of the spiritual people are. You never find spiritual people living in these mansions and being social media famous or something like that. Never see spiritual people being presidents and prime ministers and mayors and governors. You never see that. This is something to really think about. People like the Tom Brady's of the world, the Peyton Mannings of the world, people like Just look at it all, man. Every well-known person, even people like Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, they never lived in apartments or three-bedroom condos. They live in mansions. This is something to think about.